Namaste. It's Friday morning. The weekend is on its way, and I am so happy. And my amazing children come back to mom today. This is just a dumb, random video. Don't mind me. I'm laying here getting warmed up for the day. I I initially started on YouTube, and you've heard me saying these videos many times before. I really appreciate YouTube, right? But I just, oh, if you're looking at my nails, did I play with color? I mingled gel and regular polish, and it didn't work out good. So I'm gonna have to strip it and start from ground zero. Ooh, ground zero. Why did I say that? That's crazy. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be something I mention here. Okay, wow. So I'm gonna have to start from the beginning. I'm gonna have to take everything down and start over again. Woo. Okay. So ground zero. Let me just hop onto that. I mentioned in the other videos that I am on Instagram now, and so um, like I said, I had to just start like I would do with YouTube, eliminating videos that I don't, enjoy or don't interest me, and then it just starts feeding me the algorithm. And then, with technology now, it probably takes the data from my phone, and it's probably connecting like stuff I watch on YouTube with Instagram or, searches or whatever. So I'm actually getting a ton of content that is like amazing, right? So I know how to, I allow myself to have my views and opinions, but when I'm proven otherwise, then yeah, make the adjustment. So yeah, I mean, I've just, I think it's been like a week or so, but I've seen a lot of great stuff. But one of the things that keep coming into my feed is they keep showing all these videos about 9/11, right? And I'm going to talk about that for a quick minute because I wasn't even intending to talk about that, but I think my spirit, like that's probably why my spirit guide led me to say ground zero to activate that in my brain. But so they've been showing tons and tons and tons and tons of videos about 9/11, and there's a couple of things here. What's pissing me off is that now there's all this footage that was taken in that somehow we know how, right? If we know how of all this footage showing the different angles, showing people saying that it was bombs um and like tons of footage, like stuff like I never even recall seeing. And so um I can't remember how old I was when that horrendous event happened, but I know I was pretty young. I almost want to say I wasn't even 20 yet. But I remember because at that time I lived in my grandmother's house with my grandmother and my grandfather. And it was just me and so I might have been like 18, 19. I'm not sure because I had my first two children already. So I was over 17, but I might have been, it was probably between 18 and 19. But I remember she came, I was doing laundry and I was folding clothes. And I remember she ran, one of the nurses, her name, I don't know what she's doing today. I don't know if she's still here. She ran into the living room and she was like, "Oh my God, they've hit the Twin Towers." Now, mind you, I did not know what the Twin Towers were. I wasn't familiar with New York. I was a young girl. I mean, out of everything that I've learned in life up until that point, I never heard about the Twin Towers. So I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And so my grandparents had this really big, like the back in the day, big TV that was like a screen or something. It was a box, but it was like that big screen, the initial big screen TVs. Um, Excuse me, let me sit up here because give me a moment. Oh, sorry. So she had y'all gotta forgive me. I just woke up. They had one of those big screen TVs, right? And so she ran in there and then she turned on the channel and she showed the towers. Like I was looking at it on the TV screen. Now mind you, at this time, so here's something that I realized from that, and bear with me, y'all. I'm kind of chopping up and stuff, but here's what I realized for me from that. So this was back in, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember the exact date that this event happened, you guys. But up until that point, movies and stuff had been getting more and more graphic. They were involving more and more technological stuff, right? Not technological. What the movie enhancements were getting, better. And so when I saw it on the TV, it didn't look real to me. It looked like a movie, and I was just like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, what are the Twin Towers? Who are they? And you know what I'm saying? What relevance does this have? I wasn't being disrespectful. I just was confused. I was standing there looking, and I didn't ask, but these are the thoughts that were running through my head. And so I mean, she was in a panic. Now, mind you, I was probably barely 20. This woman probably was in her 40s, late 40s at the time, mid to late 40s. And so maybe early 50s, maybe. But she was having a panic attack. She was having an anxiety attack. And so like that's how I got inducted into the knowledge of what had taken place. And so like I said, it didn't really strike me what had taken place because like, I'm seeing it on the TV. I didn't feel the full magnitude of what it was, and I didn't know the buildings and everything. So as time went on, you guys, who are very well of 9/11, if you remember, they would just show documentaries about what happened during 9/11, like on PBS and different things, for years after that event happened. And so in seeing that, I began to see like the horror, the horror of it. When they were showing people jumping out the building, when they were showing people, it was horrible. When people were telling their stories about, how they, barely escaped, when they're telling stories of, and this is another thing when we talk about the Matrix, or this is why people have to come into their full consciousness. Because one of the things that I remember about that event that disturbed me so badly is they said after the first building got hit, or, whatever happened with it, they said people in the second building started to leave work. And some of them had made it all the way down to the lobby and were about to leave. And somebody told them, convinced them, like, oh no, the boss said, management says we stay. And they said that some of those people went all the way back up to their office. And then the second building was hit and the second building ended up coming down. So that was, see, there's things all around us that can help us to awaken to truth. They happen all the time. And I was young when I was hearing this, and that disturbed the hell out of me because I'm like, well, why the hell would they go back upstairs? And then it dawned on me like how people go to work every day knowing that it's killing them, how people go against their better judgment and their self-preservation and do things because they've gotten some kind of decree or demand from a so-called higher power, like weird as, the shit here, and they go against their better judgment, and it literally can lead them to their death, whether it's physically, spiritually, metaphysically. And like that broke my heart to know that there were people all the way down, but yet their self-preservation had been so desensitized, their programming had been so strategized and so deep that they really went back upstairs. And so that just was a wake-up call to me, and I'm not saying that pridefully. That's just something that I took from it. Like, okay, choose you first always. Choose you first always. And another thing is, not that this is coincidental. Like I mentioned in the other video, my dad, I didn't have a relationship with my dad. Like I told you, I used to be scared of my dad because my dad was 9/11 energy, and his birthday was on September 11th as well. So, anyways, that always disturbed me. And another thing, so first, there's some lessons you can be taking. Forgive me, y'all, whoever is subscribed to my channel, whoever comes to my videos, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to whatever words I am sharing. And I would like to think, if like I don't do it like on a program or a strategy, just look at it as you're talking to a friend, or you're talking to someone you love, or someone who loves you, just somebody we're just having a conversation, right? But and take from it what you will, you know what I'm saying? But that's two things. One thing is how you being desensitized to certain things. When things happen, if you've allowed yourself to be desensitized, you won't see the gravity of it. You won't see the weight in it. You won't see what you could do to prevent it, or what you can do to make it not happen again, because you become numb to it. So that was the first thing. The second thing was to know I'm not letting a job or anything else send me to my grave. No. And then another thing, to me, now that I understand energy harvesting, I believe that there was a lot of energy harvesting regarding that event, right? Because like I said, they used to show on PBS after that, they used to show the videos, and they used to go into detail about the stuff that was happening, while not mentioning the explosions and I guess they must have had an approval to let it out in a certain way. Maybe they mentioned that stuff, but they never left with the impression like, oh, this is not what we're showing this to be. And so because, you heard me mention I was an empath, but I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know my spiritual, I didn't understand spiritual things. You know what I'm saying? I just felt, right? And so it was, they used that. I've come to learn, see, when I talk about the things that I talk about, when I come on here and I compare it to something else and I bring something else in, what I'm doing is, it's like I learn a lot of things in life. I learn first through firsthand experience, and then something will come in later that will confirm what I've learned to be true. So it's like I have to learn to trust myself first, and then something will be like, okay, look, you trusted yourself with that. Here's the proof that you made the right decision. Okay. And there's been times I failed, but for the most part, when I just trust my intuition and my instinct, it usually doesn't fail. So, I don't know. I think subconsciously I realized that this was an energy harvesting event, because they would show those videos and stuff over and over again. And then when I would see those videos, oh my God, y'all, I would be depressed for like probably days, or like a long time after I would feel so sad. I would feel so helpless. I would feel so confused, and then I would be depressed. And so what you guys have to understand is a lot of the programs and the things that are happening and playing out in our face are also I think they serve multi purposes, but I don't think people really understand that there are beings or entities that are involved with this planet that thrive off of energy. That's why we always have to have something. If you guys think about it, think about the news, and that's why it's good to disconnect from the news, because it's just like there's always another event. There's always something big happening, and you got to be careful, because like now you're crying about stuff that's happening across the globe, and you don't even know about it. You can't even do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're tapping into your energy, and it's creating this atmosphere of fear and depression. Whatever these beings are, they like that energy more than they like happiness, joy, and peace. Obviously, I just seen something where somebody was talking about Monsters Incorporated, and how, they got their power from scaring kids, but then they switched the power over to making kids laugh, and they got more power. But whatever these beings are, they don't give a fuck about the joy and happiness and peace power. They need that trauma power. And so I just remember, like, constantly being, that's like an assault. That was such a horrendous event, y'all. Not only did they kill and murder all those people, they constantly energy harvested off of it year after year, because they would release it around that time. And, people who are watching it, that's a collective energy that was going into the atmosphere. It was going into the atmosphere. And what was it doing to our planet? What was it doing to us? And who was benefiting from that energy? And then now to come to the end of it, now that they're showing, and mind you, my 11-year, my teen, well, he's 11 now. I think it was last year. I don't know what year, if it was last year or this year, he came home talking about, yeah, we had to learn about 9/11, and he seemed bothered by it. And then I was like, why are they teaching my son in 2025 or 2024 about 9/11? Like, do you know how much history we have on this planet? Why are they making it a point to teach these kids this? Because what is the end goal? What is the lesson? What is going to be accomplished from them teaching them this? Are we teaching them how to spot stuff going forward, or this, that, and the other? But, what makes it even sicker is now that, we're in the age of Aquarius and stuff is being revealed, that it's being more and more confirmed that this was definitely not done by the sources that they said it was, that they, like people say, it was an inside, job. It's kind of disgusting, because I'm like, oh, so you just re-traumatized this. You, not only did you do this event, the unknowns, right? Or maybe some people know who it is, but, obviously hidden, how, like, fucking, whew. But you traumatize this year after year and gathered energy off of it. And then y'all doing this so hard that y'all try to bring this in 2025. You in here to acting like you teaching our kids this, but why would you teach our kids this if you're not telling the whole truth of what it's about? You're teaching our kids this really based on a lie. You're still presenting the lie. And you're trying to traumatize our kids in 2025 with what you did. So it's really sick, y'all. Like, it's crazy that I even said ground zero, because it's really sick. And it makes me enraged. Like, I'm glad stuff is being exposed. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so now that it's being proven and shown over and over again that this was an inside job, are they going to go back and take care of the people who did it? Are you guys just going to show us that this shit just happens, and it's just, oh, we'll show you in a couple of years that it was really us, and what can you do about it? What are we supposed to do with this information? Think about all the people who lost their lives, and in such a destitute way. So it's funny to me, because one phrase that I typically don't say on here, but it's been coming to me a lot: crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity. Because now that we're in the age of Aquarius and people are waking up, we have to understand that a lot of people are having a hard time coming out of their stupor or their slumber or their trance, or their spell because work has been intentionally done to put them there. Now, I don't understand all the laws of the universe, right? I don't know if there's been a change in the laws of the universe, and that's what this age of Aquarius means. But when I think about the fact that people are in this condition because they were being lied to, because they were being deceived, I don't like that. I don't like when stuff is done unfairly. I don't like when I have to go through extra hardships and bullshit because you lied and you pretended to be something that you weren't, or you presented something that wasn't true. And I just really feel like there should be hell to pay for that. And when you think about the leaders and all these people who've been playing in our faces, I'm like, crimes against humanity, right? But I guess that could only happen when humanity acknowledges that there have been crimes against them as a whole. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I just been getting a lot of reels about 9/11, and like I said, they're showing all kinds of footage and stuff that they did not show us then. Why show us this in 2025? Is it like, ooh, we're safe, so now we can release this information? I mean, a lot of it could be just the age of Aquarius, but it also feels like a play in your face even more. And then when you guys think about the monument that they left there, that monument is creepy as fuck, y'all. Just a big ass square empty hole with water running down. Like I don't think people understand how evil and wicked the beings are that have been doing this, the groups of people, whatever the fuck they are. I don't think we understand how wicked they are to do something like that, to play in your face, and then to build a fucking disrespectful monument. And the people are gone until they do the next thing, right? So yeah, I didn't plan on speaking about that, but I just wanted to bring that up. And I've been seeing, I don't know if it's just 9/11. I've been seeing a few things where it's like, oh, now that it's 2025, here goes this information. And I'm like, well, what do we do with this information? Like all the celebrities that people know have been murdered, murdered. They didn't die. They were murdered. Like, you know, I've been hearing Aaliyah on the radio. Michael Jackson has been showing up. Prince has been a topic of discussion. And that's just 3 people. It's been a multitude. Phyllis Hyman. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do a video on her. Like Phyllis Hyman. Well, I don't know if she was or if she really did, but I don't know whether she killed herself or whether somebody killed her. It still was influenced by the music industry, the people that she was under. So when you think about all these artists that have passed, and like apparently they must have taken some kind of pledge, an oath, or to something, but at the same time, like, it's still crazy. So it's like you're showing us all this and people are aware of this happening, but then what do we do about it? We just keep sitting back and letting them just murk people? Like, I don't know. It's just wild. What is the information is coming, but I feel like that's the wild thing. You know, everybody's bringing in the age of Aquarius with excitement, as they should, but I think we need to brace ourselves because I think it's going to be crazy. All the information that we're going to get, it's going to be a lot. It's going to take a long time for us to get it all sorted out and figure out what to do about it. Because we're not just getting this information just to get it. You know, you really think the universe is just giving us this like, oh, here's this? No, we're getting it for a reason. So, I probably definitely could divulge more on that, but I'm just throwing that out there, and maybe that can help, you know, generate your thoughts and stimulate your thoughts about the whole matter. Oh, that's what I was going to say. With being an empath, you have to be careful what you watch. Be careful what you absorb, the news, people that you're around, whatever. I learned that. Like I was saying, I was absorbing all that energy when I would see those documentaries over and over again, and I would, you know, it was just a reassault every year. And so like you have the power and you have the right to choose what you take in and what you don't take in. So, you know, you don't have to, and you know, they get with empaths because you feel like, well, if I'm not tapped into it, that means I don't care. No, No, take care of your spirit, take care of your soul. To figure out how you want to feel on the inside. You don't really want to be walking around feeling depressed and like you want to die. And what's the point of life over some shit that you had nothing to do with, and that you're not like you're nowhere even around. Like you're not even getting the full truth about the situation. Observe it and then keep it moving. And then hopefully eventually as a collective, because I think this is what's happening as a collective, as the world, we have to change it. So we're getting dealt with on an individual level, on a metaphysical level, on a gender level, on a racial level. Like everybody's being dealt with in their own house. It's like we'll go back to the wheat being separated from the chaff. Like they call them chosen ones or whatever you want to call yourself. You know who you are, right? And if you don't know who you are, the universe is trying to show you who you are. So it's like it's plucking us out of our families and our separating us from toxic lineages and toxic systems. And it's like getting us all in the same accord, on the same page, but in our own factions, in our own groups. And then I think at some point we will come together and start collaborating. When I say come together, it may not even mean merge together. It's like it's just going to be a whole new system, and we're going to start collaborating and regulating. But I guess that's where the power has to come in. Like these old systems have to come down and new systems have to be established. So yeah. But I did initially make this video because I was just thinking about YouTubers and like how they be like demanding for the likes, and I'm gonna go back to this. Like you see my channel, I don't really have many likes. Like I didn't start this channel like for popularity, for monetary reasons. It's just something that I felt compelled and inspired to do, and I went with it. It was a time in my life where I was ready to start speaking. I was ready to start sharing my voice, sharing my experience to the world, because I understood my voice and my experience is valid. Just like everybody else that's being shoved in our face, my experience is valid as well. So that was a part of that. It's been a whole thing. So I've shared it in other videos and I'm glad I did it. So like if nobody ever looked at my videos, I could look back on me and see my growth and see, because, that was coming at a point where I had like I was fighting to reclaim my identity because I have been through so much, I've been through so much. So I had to find myself. So that was like, one part of that journey. So anyways, but then I am a welcoming spirit. I do stuff. And like I said, a lot of times, a lot of it was I wanted to connect with people or put out the energy, or let's say, like if somebody runs across one of my videos and I say like even one sentence that like confirms something that their intuition that was telling them, their higher self was telling them, and that gives them that fucking like spark to be like, oh, okay, get the engine rubbing. Like, how when people be like trying to start, lawnmowers, they got to keep and then finally you yank it and it just if that's what I can do, that'll make me so happy, even if it's one person, right? But I know I have good energy and I know I have a good spirit, and like I know my experience, so I know what I'm putting out there. So I know that it's more than that with whoever connects with me. But it's never been about like subscribers, likes, and money and stuff. Now I get it. Some people, that's basically what they come on here for. But it's just really bothersome to me when like you come into a video. Now there's some of the people I'm subscribed to or not subscribed to, and that I mess with, like, because their messages are consistent. Like I know who they are. Like whatever they put out there is tried and proven. Like they get the likes from me immediately. But let me say this, it took me a while to get to that point to giving them those likes. It was like the consistency. I'm like, okay, well, I know if I come in here, I'm going to get something good, right? So like I already, do that because I have a relationship with that YouTuber. And when I say relationship, I don't mean a relationship. I mean, whatever social relationship, whatever it is. So anyways, but I just see a lot of it. But usually those YouTubers, they don't really ask me to subscribe, or they're the people to subscribe. They'll just be like, please, they'll say it, please subscribe, like, or whatever. some of them don't even ask. They'll say leave a comment, or they'll say like if you feel like it, if you feel led, or if you want to. Okay. No, this is the kind of energy I mess with. But when I run up on your channel and I don't even know what the hell you're gonna be talking about, I don't even know if I agree with your content. I'm just trying to get to know you, and you screaming like the video, and you screaming subscribe, and you demanding that shit. What? Why is that okay? Like, I don't get it. It's like, I'm gonna let you know, I usually leave channels like that because I'm like, for one, I'm gonna choose what I choose to choose. Okay, like, why are you? And then like, look, one person, and look, I really like this YouTuber. I did. Let me not say I really liked her. I enjoyed, her energy, right? But I was checking her content out, and I did, I would come across. It wasn't nothing regular, but I would just check her out to see what she was, talking about, and see if I could vibe with her. And then one day she was just like, you know, y'all need to subscribe. She was talking to a specific group because she does things in groups. So she was talking to a specific group of people. And she was like, y'all need to subscribe or I'm not going to produce this content anymore. And that's how you, and I was just like, oh, okay, well. And she's like, y'all need to like, and I'm like, need to, demand it, and was upset. And it was like, that's how you show your appreciation. And so I was like, well, guess what? This won't be the channel for me. Even though I enjoy, your energy, it's time for me to go. Because you're not going to bully me into liking your video and then threaten me like, if you don't like, I'm not going to produce this content anymore. Do you know how many content producers there are? Like, relax. You're doing too much. So like they lost me, period. Because I'm like, I know. Can I like something because I like it? Is that it? Can I do that? Like, can I like it because I like it? Okay. And can I subscribe if I want to? Because I don't know how YouTube completely works, but I don't think subscribers is okay. So you have to get so many subscribers to be able to be monetized. Okay. So I learned that, but then I think the monetization after the views comes from when people watch their video, how long they watch their videos, and this, that, and the other. It's not based on the likes, But like I said, it's just like real life. I don't want anyone around me and attached to me that I don't want to be around me or attached to me. And I don't want anybody around me or attached to me that doesn't want to be around me or attached to me or wants to be around me and attached to me on some bullshit. Like, so I just feel like the YouTubers gotta chill with that shit. Cause it's like, y'all acting like y'all paying for this platform. Like, you picking up your camera and you're recording, and yes, it's a great platform and you have an opportunity to make a shitload of money. Apparently some of y'all, right? But y'all starting to act like y'all doing too much. Like, y'all acting like y'all really out here NBC or CBS, and like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't take much to record these videos. And like, if you do it, didn't nobody ask you to do this? This is something that you decided to do. And look, we appreciate you for what you're offering to the world and the masses or whatever, right? But I feel like y'all need to humble yourself because y'all doing too much. Like, y'all getting mad because people won't subscribe to you. Y'all demanding people, like, y'all asking somebody to like the video like 15 times throughout the video. Y'all talking for 15 to 20 minutes about how somebody needs to like and subscribe to you. Look, grown ass people, no, that's annoying as fuck. And I'm like, now you've lost the potential now I might not even look at your channel, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the expectations is wild. So yeah, that's what I literally had picked up to make this video about. But yeah, we're going into the weekend. I hope everybody's well. Yeah, you probably won't see me for a while. And next time I come back, hopefully, I know for sure things are just going to get more amazing day by day. So next time I record, hopefully I got some good stuff. I'm wishing you love and goodness and best things for the weekend ahead. Get your rest. Take care of yourself. If the weather is nice, please get out there and get some fresh air. Get in contact with nature. Connect with loved ones, the ones that love you and you love them back, not just family members. And yeah, I hope you have financial prosperity, mental prosperity, physical prosperity. And I hope nothing but goodness on you. And so, with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Namaste. Ashe.